Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to today's episode of Talking Point. I'm your host, Syed Neaz Ahmad. In our studios today, we have a gentleman. He's an engineer by profession, but quite a voracious reader and an observer of many things, including current affairs. He is Qazi Ziauddin Ahmad, a graduate of what was then East Pakistan University of Engineering and Technology. Then he came over to London and worked with consultants, later went on to the Middle East and went back to Dhaka, then came back again to London. And he has been living here, contributing to the myriad social activities of the Bangladeshi diaspora in this country. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me, and I thank NTV for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you very much, and we are honored that you accepted our invitation and that you made your way, rather waded your way through London traffic on a Friday afternoon.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Qazi Ziauddin, when did it all start? I mean, I know that you went to University of Engineering Technology in Dhaka, and you have been living in Dhaka for a long time since your birth, and then you were a student of college, you were a student of a school. Tell us something about your background. See, I know you must have witnessed a lot of activities, political activities, prior to going to college.
Right, you're absolutely right. I mean, like everybody of our generation, we started what was then probably British India, and then at the moment of transition,
the fag end of British India, a lot of political activities.
Yes. The Raj came to an end.
Because Dhaka was the hub of Muslim League activities.
True, because Salimullah was from Dhaka and he was the founder of Muslim League, which eventually led to the demand for separate homeland for Muslims. And also Fazlul Haq, he was the proposer of now famous Lahore resolution.
Yes.
He was the only one in power, actually. Yes. There was nobody elected. Dhaka, my life started in Dhaka, of course. I was born there and went to school, what many people would remember. Armatullah School, it's still there.
Yes. There's an Armenian church there.
There is an Armenian. There was a sizable Armenian community.
And that's why it's known as Armanitola.
It's global history. That's how things change. Once there was a very large trading community.
Right.
They are no longer there, but name still lingers on. My school days were, I enjoyed it. All the fond memories, made good friends. And it was nothing remarkable, probably everybody has the same memory. But from school days, something that I always remembered, and that is later on became a landmark in our national movement. I'm talking about 1952's language movement. I was then 10-year-old. But I always had interest in politics, partly because the politics was in my family too. My father knew Fazlul Haq, my father was a lawyer, and through profession he knew Fazlul Haq very well. And after partition, when Fazlul Haq came to Dhaka to live in East Pakistan, they were in frequent contact. He was, my father was convener of Krishak Shramik Party.
Yes. KSP, as it was known.
That's right. So I had, even as a 10-year-old boy, you wouldn't expect to be interested, but I used to take interest in things. I used to go to Paltan Maidan, I used to go to Armatullah Maidan.
With your dad?
No, the dad didn't know what I did because he wouldn't have, he would probably be angry. But I remember in '52, many people talk about 21st February demonstration, and everyone knows the firing took place. But there was a big demonstration on the 4th of February,
right.
and I was part of it. I was not that I willingly went because we had school at that time. But somebody from Dhaka University, I still remember vividly, a gentleman with yellowish moustache came and said, your headmaster has agreed, you can come and join demonstration.
Yellowish moustache sounds like alien.
Yes, but then later on I found out, after questioning many people, that was probably Ghaziullah, who, you know, he played a very big part in later movements. We all went there cheerily, voluntarily, and our headmaster...
Whereabouts in Dhaka? Around Dhaka Medical College? University?
We walked around Medical College and what used to be the assembly, provincial assembly building.
Yes, I remember.
That was Jagganath Hall. In fact, Dhaka became capital by accident, you know, suddenly. There weren't enough facilities. So Jagganath Hall had an auditorium which served as a local assembly building.
Yes, the provincial assembly.
Provincial assembly. So we went along those roads and came round. Nothing happened on that day.
Was there heavy policing?
There was police on those days, but on that day, 4th. But on 21st, I was preparing to go, but my father said, you can't go to school today even. Why? Because he had heard in the court that magistrates will be on duty with the police, which means only one thing.
They can pass order for
firing. They
firing.
will approve firing if necessary. So anyway, I didn't go. I regretted. I kept, you know, sulking over that. But that was, you know, we all came to know about what happened, and we were living not far from Medical College.
Yep.
I used to live in Old Dhaka, Urdu Road. And
Behind
from there we could
behind
walk.
what was the prison of Dhaka
It was
Central
the prison,
Jail.
you know, opposite the prison. So we could walk, and nobody takes notice of a 10-year-old. You know, I just went through, passed, and went to Medical College. And I saw the first...
Because there was an entrance on the other side, towards Bakshi Bazaar.
Yes, there was, yeah. So I saw the first Shahid Minar, which was built, it's not very high, a little bit of a square plinth, and an obelisk, which was more Egyptian, you know. But it's something, it was demolished. First time I saw, and the next time I went, it wasn't there. Obviously, Pakistan, you know, authorities didn't like that, you know. But this is something that had given me a sort of memory that I was part of it, maybe a 10-year-old.
But when you came to college, I know that you went to Dhaka College.
Yeah.
Did you take part in political activities?
I
Because then those days we used to have a students' union.
There was student union. What I used to do, I was not in the forefront. I didn't stand for any office. But we used to have what was called Dayal Putrika, you know, the wall paper. That was fashionable in those days.
That Muslim American was there, who used to write.
There was an American, yes, and later on he was branded as a spy or something, you know.
Yeah,
but we don't know. Possible, it's a possible story. Robert, his name was Robert. But anyway, I used to draw all the, you know, the pictures and other
drawings,
decorations, drawings. Somebody else will write. My handwriting wasn't that good. But I used to draw things, set up the thing.
There used to be one party was Pioneers Front and the
Pioneers,
other was...
we were Pioneers. I was supporting Pioneers. It was traditionally only Armanatullah School would support Pioneers, and the rest of the Dhaka school would support democratic something. But anyway, there was a student politics at that time. But
it was very, very mild, subdued kind of politics.
Politics was, I would say, compared to what it is now, it was gentlemanly. It wasn't that security conscious. There wasn't, life was easy.
It was more of a forum for, you know, debating and
true, the views, people in opposite side, those who formed different parties, not because of financial gains, but because of ideological differences. So, and I think sadly that is gone now. There isn't really a debate on the policies or sort of overview or a big picture, they all subscribe to the same economic model, same everything, except that is personality. But parties are based on personality.
And again, also at the university level, we don't have unions as such.
It didn't have. There were unions, but in my engineering university, we were too busy studying because our course was so demanding that we didn't have time. But still, we can't be devoid of political opinion. We had sympathies more with that. Talking about the university days, I remember when Ayub Khan, not university, sorry, Dhaka College in '58, Ayub Khan took power, coup, and he came to visit East Pakistan. His first visit, he came in his general uniform. I just happened to be passing through what was then, we talked about Jagganath Hall. And there was a pile of bricks. Nobody around me. I stood on the pile of brick to get a good view. And the motorcade passed and Ayub Khan waved at me. I was the only person, little boy standing there. Not boy, I was then, you know, college going.
Probably it was the same day I saw him near what was Jinnah Avenue.
Right, he was coming from the airport going to the government house, what was then government house, you know.
When you joined the university, what was EPUET, which is Buet now, how was the life?
Well, as I said a short while ago, it was, we had a lot of pressure, studies, you know, but then you find time, and the life was very good, as I recall.
No, I mean, I remember that EPUET, I mean, Engineering University and Medical University, these were the two places, there were not too much of politics there. People were centered on their studies.
Simply because of the curriculum, and this is, I mean, Dhaka University had a lot of spare time, and also their examination method, end of the year exam. Whereas we had a semester system, which meant that we had to read every page, because there was, every month there was a test. So in order to be prepared for 1.5 hours test, you had to read all the pages. And this has stood us very well throughout my life.
Was it a 4-year course, or?
It was a 4-year course.
So you graduated in 1963?
63, yes.
And you decided to come to England for higher studies in 1966?
Yes, it's basically, I was then, I worked for an American company in what was then East Pakistan, Dhaka-Chittagong Highway. And I'm proud of one thing that I did during my early career. I designed Mohari Bridge. That was my first hand in trying.
Is it still there?
It is still there.
Oh, great.
Last time I went, I took a picture. I got off the car and took a picture. It's a small bridge, but Mohari River is a small river. And that was my first design. Which is still there. And I worked for part of Sitralakha Bridge as well, you know. And then
that was the beginning of interest into harbors and all that?
No, but that became came later on when I came to this country. I came here initially hoping to do a further study. But I found a job. Then I said, what's the point of studying? And everybody said, you don't really need a master's to work. If you can find a job training is more valued. Which has been actually true. And then I accidentally sort of fell into this docks and harbors. It's a very niche field, you know.
That's a very nice word, I fell into.
Right, because I was there. I happened to be there at the right time. They were looking for a young somebody who will do a lot of donkey work, and I was there. But I never regretted.
Luckily you could swim.
True, you know. It has given me enormous advantage and benefit, because at any given time when I was in the profession.
Okay, we'll need to take a break here, and then when we come back we'll swim over to the other side of the river, and we will go to Libya. Okay? Thank you for being with us. We need to take this short break. Don't go away.